potluck, oh, potluck. Potluck going out to see me through sometime. I need a little potluck, oh, potluck, all right. Boop, 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 ba-da-doo, bop. Boom, 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 ba-da-da-doo, boom, boom, ba-da-da-doo, boom. Potluck, boom, boom, diddle-da, boom, boom, ba-diddle-da, boom, boom, boom. Potluck, boom, boom, diddle-da, boom, boom, ba-diddle-da, boom, boom, boom. Potluck, boom, boom, diddle-da, boom, boom, ba-diddle-da, boom. Now, you and me, girl, we've been together for many a year. Oh, it's a beautiful thing when a little bit of luck comes our way.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's 5:05, just a little past the 5 o'clock start we said we would be, but we're here. We're better than late. Well, we're late better than never. Here we are right now getting ready for Eugene Smith storytelling from the Duncan Showroom. Now, usually I would have Bill Levity. He would be the host for this, and I like to say I'm filling in, but no one can fill in for Bill Levity. Who have I got a phone call from? Just 1 second. Georgia Foster? I'm online right now. I'm on the air right now. Do you want to say hi to Eugene? Hey, Georgia says hi, Eugene. We've already got guests phoning in from all across the country. Well, not across the country. She's actually just down the street. But it sounded like it was a good one. Eh? Anyway, my name's Longevity John. I will be doing the other part of what normally Bill Levity does. He's up in Whitehorse right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of worried that he might not be coming back because one of the reasons in my lifetime, in all of my years of traveling across this great country of ours, I've never made it up there because I was afraid I'd never come back because I've heard great, great things about there. Once people get involved, they just want to live there. It's a great community. Lots of music. Bill, you come home. You think Bill's watching right now?
He could be.
He could
be, yeah.
Well, he can watch it online, too. It's going to be archived.
Yeah.
So that works out. So I'm going to be your host, and we're going to get on with the storytelling today. And just one thing to let people know is years ago, it was on I was in Kingston. I went down to see the Mahones do a CD release. Me and my Glenn McIntosh, and we were standing in this big place outdoors with I can't remember the name of the hotel, but it's crazy when you're in Kingston because it's all university town, right? And Eugene Smith came out to me and he said, introduced himself and said that he was going to be playing around the corner. And well, as things would have it, I never got away from him standing in front of that propane heater all night. Never did get to see him until the next morning when he was walking into the restaurant. And what's the name of that restaurant?
Morrison's.
Morrison's. Everybody knows about Morrison's if they've ever done any time in Kingston. And that's school time. But anyway... me and Glenn were walking out. We were getting in the car and we were heading out west. And he said, "Well, that's funny. I'm heading out on the train on Wednesday." And I said, "Well, you should come with us." He says, "No, I like the train. I always do it by train. Going to go out and see my son, hang out for a while." And I said, "Well, if you're out there, you should come visit us on Vancouver Island. I think you'd like it there, but be careful. You might not leave." And that's what we always say to people. And guess what? He never really left. And it's been great because he's a great charmer to have around the valley. Not only is he
a charmer.
A charmer, you
I
are.
like
every time you take me out for breakfast, we go anywhere for breakfast, right, or anything like that, man. Like they're all over you. I don't know what you tip big or what.
No,
you're a big asset to this community, and some of the stories I've been listening in. This is number 13, so there's been a lot of crazy things that we've heard about along the way. I know the Margaret Trudeau stuff and just the different players along the way that you got a chance to work with,
yeah.
Ronnie and stuff like that. Where are you going to take us to today?
Well, I was just thinking this summer, a lot of things going on in Canada and the United States and around the world, I guess, with Black Lives Matter, and I understand where they're all coming from, and I agree with them on Black Lives Matter. But with me, the way I think about it, I think that all lives matter. And it shouldn't be just Black lives. It should be all lives matter. All life matters as far as I'm concerned. And so that's one of the things that happened this summer, along with me catching a little tiny fish.
You didn't get a chance to do any gigs back there this summer.
No. Well, this is kind of like the story, I guess, for my story. My summer story is I've been entertaining people now for I guess over 60 years, 62 years of my life. And this summer, because of COVID, I was upset in the beginning because I only had about 2 or 3 gigs that I was going to do, and then a couple pending. And what happened was they got canceled because of the pandemic. Well, this summer I was sitting around talking to a musician friend of mine. This was around in August, and I said, you know what? This summer has really been interesting for me because I'm usually entertaining people, but this summer I don't have to entertain anybody. I can't entertain anybody, and it's like I'm on a sabbatical. And then I said, well, so this is what it's really like to be retired. you know, but it's been good because I've been trying to write some new songs and learn some other people's material, and so the summer was went fishing, and I caught this little tiny fish. I was doing more things on my QB that I was doing than fishing, but I enjoyed this summer this year more because it was different. It's been different, you know. So I decided that I'd do some songs that Bobby Darin was always one of my favorites when I was a teenager, and so I decided that I'd learn one of his songs. I'm always talking about Bobby Darin and how much I loved his music and his style, so I'm going to do this one here. Dream lover, here now. Come on now. Every night I hope and pray a dream lover come my way. A girl who holds in my arms, show the magic of a charm. Because I want, a girl, what to call my own. I want a dream lover, so I don't have to dream alone. Dream lover, where are you? With a love oh so true. Take my hand, I will hold. The feeling's real as I grow old. Because I want, a girl, want to call my own. I want a dream love, so I don't have to dream alone. Someday I don't know how, or she'll be in my dreams. Some way I don't know how, she'll bring her love to me. All that dream lover. Until then, I'll go to sleep and dream again. That's the only thing to do till all my love and dreams come true. Because I want, a girl, to call my own. I want a dream lover, so I don't have to dream alone. Oh, dream lover, every night, dream lover. Oh, dream lover, come to me. Yeah. Oh yeah, come on. Someday I don't know how, she'll be in my dreams. Some way I don't know how, or she'll bring her love to me now. Dream lover, until then, I'll go to sleep and dream again. That's the only thing to do till all my love and dreams come true. Because I want, a girl, to call my own. I want a dream love.
Yes, 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 sir. When was that? What decade or what time era was that?
That was during the early '60s.
Early
late fif-
'60s. Because I
Yeah,
remember it. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not as old as you, but I'm closer than Bill is. Speaking of birthdays, isn't Victoria having a birthday tomorrow?
Tomorrow's the big day.
Ooh,
I know.
she actually just wrote online, said to say it's good to see you on stage, and she asked me how my dinosaur turtle was.
You didn't get it yet.
Oh.
Oh, you blew it, Victoria. You told them what it was because it hasn't arrived yet.
Happy birthday, Victoria.
No problem. No problem. That's what I like about this whole internet thing. It's just like being sort of all in the same room but different, you know?
Yeah.
Yelling from one room to the other. It's kind of,
Yeah, so anyways, that's Bobby Darin. That was one of his big hits. You can go online. You'll find him doing it on American Bandstand. with
yeah, I
Dick Clark.
remember it. You know,
Yeah.
let's get back to this fish.
That's not.
You know, where did you go? You usually go fishing when you're back there, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but I don't.
Because I don't know. I know you don't fish out here much, but you're a sort of a river, lake fisherman.
Mostly the lakes.
Lakes.
The
eh?
lakes, yeah. It's Lake Cashawackaback, but I don't usually catch that much there. You catch pickerel, and sunfish is my thing.
I caught many of those as a child and ate many of them too.
Bass and perch. I think those are the three main fish in this lake. It's a narrow lake. It's not a wide lake. This summer that it rained and lightning, and actually the wind was coming down the lake. Woke up one around 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was whistling like this through the trees. That's how strong it was, whistling through the trees, John. So, but the fishing, I didn't do a lot of fishing. I did a little bit, and I caught a little bit. So, I don't know the stories. We lost Jimmy Oskirko, who is the keyboard player from the band, when the teenage band I was in, the Majestics. He passed away about a month ago, and so he's gone. And the guitar player, Bobby Schwab, he passed away a few years ago. And it was interesting looking at the picture I have at home of the band. Some of the other guys, I don't know what. I think Chris Vickery's still around someplace in Toronto. And Brian Sharples, I don't know what happened to him. And Dave Brown, the drummer. Well, Brian Sharples played sax, and Dave Brown played drums. The last time I saw Dave was up in Owen Sound, and he was a postman. Now, that was some years ago, so I'm sure he's retired by now. But it's kind of interesting looking at that picture and the things that we did as a band, just as a teenage band, back then. And it was interesting. We used to, as teenagers, whenever we got to go out to dances, everybody got dressed up. You know what I mean? Everybody got dressed up, and the girls looked good, and the guys put on their Jade East and took baths in it, and but well, they did, and then bell bottoms were out, so some people were wearing that, but everybody got dressed up until the hippie movement came in, and then it all changed, and then I think what brought getting dressed up to go out to dances and stuff was disco, because everybody started getting dressed up again to go out to disco. So that's I always remember that the guys would go to even the barber shops to get our hair done and get manicures, and stuff like that. Maybe it'll come back someday, John. I don't know. You never know.
What, people dressing up to go out?
Yeah, people got dressed up to even go
Well,
out.
even like I noticed, there's been this year during the 39 days of July, there was about 3 or 4 bands that actually took the time to make sure that they were aware of their apparel when they were on stage.
Yeah.
Kind of they all got the same memo in the morning, and it sort of has an effect on people, right? It was a time era where that did work. Almost every band you saw that was on there. I remember the staccatos in those striped shirts.
Oh
Suits.
yeah.
Oh well, forget that one. But it was neat to see that whole thing where people did dress up to go out.
To go out, yeah, and then there was ladies and escorts in the clubs, the pubs, and all that. And a bit of a story I want to tell you tonight is when I was going to public school, they used to take us around to all the different companies on the lakeshore. There was Continental Can, there was Goodyear, there was Anaconda, American Brass and Steel, there was Campbell's Soup, and so they would take field trips with the kids in the public schools, and you would go maybe once a month or something to one of these factories to see. There was Weston, the bread company, Weston bread. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, so the reason I'm telling this story, well, I'll tell you the reason why is at the end. But I remember going to Continental Can and seeing how they did that, and Campbell's Soup, how you made Campbell's Soup and how it was made. And so my dad, Doug, he worked at the Anaconda, and he worked in the casting shop. And the casting shop is where they actually made the molten lava in there. They made the metal liquid and then poured it. And I always remember the day that the teacher told us we were going to go to the Anaconda. Now, my dad knew, and everybody there knew that the classes were coming through. And the soot and the smoke and everything else was so bad back then that you used to eat holes in the laundry when mothers would put their laundry out on the line to dry during the daytime. They did it enough, you get little tiny holes from the ash coming from the factory. So this particular day, we go to the Anaconda, and we're going through the whole building, and then we come to the casting shop. And I looked down, and there was all these big, huge furnaces with all the hot metal and everything being cooked, and big, huge machines. And I looked down, and all these guys were down there, all the workers. And I couldn't tell which fellow was which man down there was my father, because they were all black-faced. They were just covered in black from working there. And I couldn't tell which one was my dad until he saw me and waved, and then I knew it was him. and I always remembered that even though he was the only Negro down there, they all looked the same at that particular moment. And I think that's where I was going, where Black Lives Matter, because at that time, all lives mattered back then at the Anaconda in the casting shop. Because all the fellas that worked in the casting shop, they all died from cancer. They all got the same cancer from working there. And my dad was the last one to survive, and he passed away with cancer years later. But I think that's why I was telling that story. And also, I was thinking of opening up a restaurant one time, John. And it was going to be called Bologna.
And serve apple pie?
Yeah. Yeah, I would serve apple pie. And it was going to be called Bologna Only.
Oh.
And I was gonna open it up down in the Newfoundland section of Toronto, where all the Newfoundlanders live. And there's a big section down there. I don't know if it's still there. Probably is. And because I had seen an article with different types of bologna, and these chefs were on TV with different types of food, bologna, that, gourmet bologna. So I was thinking, well, I mean, there's not just the bologna that we're used to, there's also bologna from Europe and everything else. So it was going to be called Bologna Only, and And the theme song would go, only the baloney, dum 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 doo wah.
Thank God it failed.
This is back in the 80s. I was going to open up this bologna-only restaurant. And you could come in and have fried bologna. Now, if you go to Newfoundland or even anywhere on the East Coast, you can, on the menu for breakfast or whatever, you can get bologna and eggs, like for breakfast. And rather, you can get bacon too, but they have bologna, and so I think the restaurant would have gone, I think.
Well, I was in Quebec to visit my daughter last year when I was down there, and just into the Hull side, we decided to go for a good French-Canadian breakfast, and there it was, sausages, eggs, bacon, some cheese on the side, and bologna. Bologna is part of the breakfast meal, right? It's on the menu. There it is, and you just accept it. It's great.
I know. So I think it would have worked. People laughed at me at first, and then there's bologna cookbooks now. I saw one. I should have bought it when we were.
Well, now how does Spam and bologna gather? Is bologna below Spam? Or Spam
no, I think Spam and Click, those are below bologna for sure.
Are they?
Because
I know that
yeah.
When we first got the Longevity John's Coolio hot dog stand and meat pie emporium, that we were going to be doing Spam and eggs on Sundays for breakfast. And then I did some checking into it, and sure enough, in Hawaii, it is a big deal.
Yeah.
Spam and eggs.
Well, I went out and bought some a year or so ago. I went out and got some. Bought a can of Spam, and I brought it home, and I cut it up, and I put it in some batter and floured it, and I cooked it in the pan with some eggs, and it brought back memories. I mean, I'm not going to do it again, I'll tell you. But
well, the difference, though, is bologna. There's a certain way with bologna when you put it in the pan, how it starts to bubble in the middle and come up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
There's something about bologna has got when it's been slightly warmed up.
Yeah.
A slight little edge on it, It's really quite, it's delicious.
Well, you're making me hungry.
Well, why don't you sing us another song there, sir?
I'm going to sing another song to close off the show. I'd like to thank everybody for hanging out with us. We're back now, and it's been a good summer. I hope it was a good summer for everybody out there, considering what was going on and what's going on. So I'll just close it off with hey, good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. Say good night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. Well, come on back next week. Oh, now we'll be playing some more. Say good night, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Well, good night, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Oh, we know we're gonna do our best. Oh, Lord, it'll be sublime. Yeah. Boom, 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 body, I don't boom. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Say good night, everybody. Hope you had some fun. Well, good night, everybody. Hope you had some fun. We're gonna keep it going all night long. Oh, yeah. Well, good night, everybody. Well, good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Thank you, folks. Thank you.
Hey, just a little aside. I remember driving across Saskatchewan. Isn't there a place called Balgony, Saskatchewan?
Balgony?
Balgony. Baloney from Balgony.
Oh. See,
I think I should stop in there again.
you should stop there, John.
I want to thank you for everything you did today. It was great little stories, and I love your tunage always.
Thank you.
And the people who tuned in, that's good. And don't forget it's archived. And don't forget everybody can donate. There is a little banner which is either there today or not, but it does say that you can, in fact, help donate and keep the showroom alive. So we can keep on bringing you these presentations. The best one that we like is the Eugene Smith on Tuesdays, Storytelling at the Duncan Showroom with Eugene Smith. Thank you again, sir. See you next week
Thank
for
you.
episode 14.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Seasons come and seasons go. Rich get richer, poor stay poor. They try to take away the middle ground, always trying to keep it down. Mother Earth said, I'll take care of this. Father Time said, I'm behind you, sis. Together they're gonna change the way. While we're living from day to day, well, all I want you to do for me, all I want you to do for yourselves, take a look around, my friends. Open up your beautiful mind as we walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. Yeah, walk a thin line. Come on, walk a thin line. Well, we're going day by day. I know, try to find a way. Well, I know you can. Oh, Lord, y'all got the jolly. You gotta try, try, try. We do. Try, try, try. Me and you. Well, now, come on now. All I want you to do for me, and all I want you to do for yourselves, take a look around, my friends. Open up your beautiful minds as we walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. Yeah, walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. Boom, boom, boo, doo, 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 doo. Boom, bam, ba, doo, da, ba, da, da. Boom, bam, ba, doo, bam, ba, doo, 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 doo. Boom, bam, ba, doo, da. Yeah, to that. Seasons come and seasons go. Rich get richer, poor stay poor. They try to take away the middle ground, always trying to keep it down. Mother Earth said, I'll take care of this. Father Time said, I'm behind you, sis. Together they're gonna change the way where we're living from day to day. With all I want you to do for me, and all I want you to do for yourselves, take a look around, my friends. Open up your beautiful minds as we walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. Yeah, walk a thin line. Walk a thin line. Set it up.